What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, I didn't really have, like, a grand idea for a video this week, but the other night I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace like you do, and I had an idea to talk about insane Facebook Marketplace guitar ads, right? Like people selling guitars, but they're, like bad listings, like really bad listings. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at some really bad listings that I found on Facebook Marketplace in my area. Again, this isn't like Reverb or something where, you can just like look these up because it's kind of more specific to your area. So this is just stuff in my area. But if you live in the northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia area, and you come across these Facebook Marketplace ads, don't get bamboozled. This is all just in good fun. I'm not ragging on anybody. Some people might not. If some of these people that are posting this, maybe they don't know. Maybe they, I don't, you don't know everybody. You don't know, right? So I'm not like dogging on anybody, but from the consumer perspective, just if you are in this area and you come across these Facebook Marketplace listings, be weary of them, right? So the first one we're going to look at here is a 1987 Gibson Les Paul Custom Alpine White Randy Rhoads, $7,500. So I looked through all these photos. I didn't like save every photo of every listing in the description for every one because this video would be like a million years long. But I looked through these photos. This is a legit 87 Gibson Les Paul. As you guys know, I have an 87 Gibson Les Paul. It's just not worth $7,500. Now, this is a minty one. Like, it looks really nice. Like, from the photos, I can't see any kind of damage or anything, right? Or anything crazy. They claim that it's all original, but you don't really know, right? The shop I bought mine from claimed it was all original too, and then when I popped the back plate off, the plot had been replaced, and the bridge was newer, right? Like, they just didn't catch it, they didn't know, right? So, you can't always trust, and that didn't bother me because I was going to replace most of the stuff anyway. Right? So, I didn't really care, and I got a good deal on it too, so whatever. But this is not a $7,500 guitar, right? They're not worth that much. Not an 87, So, again, an example of, like, it's a real instrument. It's a real Gibson Les Paul. It's just, they're asking way too much for it. Don't pay that much for an 87 Gibson Les Paul. And, I like how they just, slap Randy Rhoads on there. And that's kind of a theme you'll see with some of these listings, is they just like to throw words in that don't mean anything. Like, Randy Rhoads played a white Gibson Les Paul Custom. I'll just throw Randy Rhoads into it. I'm like, it doesn't have anything to do with Randy Rhoads. Like, don't put that in the listing. That's ridiculous. Moving on. This 1975 Gibson Les Paul Custom for $3,500. Look at this thing. And so, I had to get some of the description from this one. I hate to get rid of this. She's been my baby since I was 18. All original except for one knob, but all pots original and pickups are screaming demons. Sir, there's no finish on the top of this guitar. There's no the entire finish has been sanded off. There's a giant hole routed in the guitar where a Kahler tremolo used to be. One of the pickup rings is cream and one of them is black. There's nothing original about this. There's nothing original about, this guitar has been modded, to the ends of the earth. It used to have a Kahler in it. This is insane. And they're asking $3,500 for a 75 Les Paul Custom that's been completely hacked up and had all the finish sanded off of it. This is ridiculous. This is truly ridiculous. So keep an eye out for that one. I just had to get some of that description. All original, except for all of this stuff that isn't original and that has been done to it, right? Anyway, moving on. This one. 2002 Black Beauty Gibson Epiphone guitar with 2 amps. This is another one of those examples where they just like put a bunch of words in the listing that don't have anything to do with, that don't really mean anything, right? Like Black Beauty. You can call any black Gibson Les Paul Custom a Black Beauty. Like, whatever. Gibson Epiphone. Like, I like how they put Gibson before Epiphone. Like, it's a Gibson Epiphone. It's an Epiphone, man. Like, come on. It's a black 3 pickup Epiphone Les Paul Custom. So, like, on the used market, this is like a $500 guitar. So, what 2 amps are you getting for your extra $500, right? Because this is another thing you see a lot on Facebook Marketplace is people trying to sell, like, collections of stuff, not sell them out individually, right? It's like, I don't want to spend $5 grand on your goofy collection of, like, trash pawn shop guitars. Like, part them out. You'll get more money for them, and you might actually sell some of them, right? But people, I don't know why people try to sell these whole swaths of things. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, what 2 amps are you going to get, right? Hold my breath. Nope. Hold on. You're going to get a custom 1x8 solid state practice beginner amp and a Bugera, like a 5-watt Bugera 1x10 or something. What? I don't. You're going to get 2 amps. One of them, the Bugera might have a tube in it. It might have tubes in it. Like those little 5-watt Bugeras, I've played some of them. And that the ones that have, I don't know if this is the one that has tubes or not. But the one with tubes in it actually doesn't sound bad. So it's like, that's not a bad amp. But the other amp is like, relatively useless. Right? Like, this is the equivalent of like, putting your broken washing machine in the back of your truck and taking it to Salvation Army and like dumping it out in the parking lot, right? Like no one wants this. No one wants this. I'd rather just buy the guitar for $500 and not have these amps. Right? Like I said, the Bugera might be an okay amp. It might sound okay. It might not. I don't know. But like, what? Just sell the guitar and the amp separate. Take the custom one and just, I mean, it's all like beat up and stuff too. Like, just take the custom one and throw it in the trash. Who cares? Just. Anyway, moving on. This is a good one right here. Alright, so this is kind of the like tricky stuff you see on Facebook Marketplace that you really have to kind of decipher and like look into, right? Gibson Les Paul Custom, $1,500. Red flag. Right? Les Paul Custom just costs more than that. No one sells Les Paul Customs for $1,500 unless they look like that other one with the hole in the top of it for the Kaler and all the paint sanded off of it, right? That one might be worth $1,500, not $3,500. But so when you see things like this, that should be an immediate red flag, right? That's a weird price for an actual Les Paul Custom. So let's read a little bit in the description. What do they say? Gibson Gold Top. There aren't a lot of gold Les Paul Customs, so another red flag. Bought used from Guitar Center and got a deal since it had been refinished. Okay, no COA. I'll tell you in a minute why it doesn't have a COA. Thus, I didn't feel bad about putting Fishman Fluence Moderns in it. Okay, cool. Solid playing guitar, neck's a little thicker than I prefer. Firm, no trades. Well, look, it's got a rosewood fretboard with trapezoid inlays on it. That's a Les Paul Standard, my guy. That's not a Les Paul Custom. That's a Les Paul Standard. Les Paul Standards don't have COAs because they're not custom shop. Right? Like, this is just a USA Les Paul Standard that someone refinished. Kind of hard to tell from the photos. Probably poorly. Probably poorly would be my guess. But in the photos, it doesn't look bad. You know? It looks like they might have saved the little sticker off of some other guitar and slapped it on the back of here, right? Like the little Gibson historic sticker or whatever. Because you can tell there's like a piece of it torn off, right? There's no serial number, so they sanded the serial number off when they refinished the guitar. Why? Yeah. So again, this is just a Les Paul Standard that someone repainted gold. With all that being said, is $1,500 a good price for this? Maybe. I mean, if you go and look at it and, like, the reef end looks decent, like, it's got Fishman's in it, like, you know, yeah, that could be a cool mod guitar, that could be a cool, you know, whatever, beater guitar, like, I don't think that's bad, but it's not a Les Paul Custom, and they called it a Les Paul Custom, and, like, that stuff irks me. Don't call it a Les Paul Custom if it's not a Les Paul Custom. Just because you refinished it doesn't mean it's a Les Paul Custom. Right. Moving on. Gibson Les Paul Standard. $3,000. No trades, no trades, no trades. That's all the description says. The only reason this one's on here is because he doesn't tell you what the year of the instrument is. He doesn't tell you what model of standard it is, right? Is it a 50 standard? Is it a 60 standard? What year is it? Like, doesn't tell you anything about it. Doesn't tell you if it's ever been modified, had any parts replaced, nothing. Just no trades, no trades, no trades for $3,000. Dude, a brand new Gibson Les Paul Standard from Sweetwater with a case and a warranty and all the swag that comes with a brand new Gibson Les Paul Standard is $3,000. Why would I buy this? Why would I buy this for the exact same price as a brand new Gibson Les Paul Standard with a case and all the swag that comes with it? Like, there's this thing I've noticed with, like, Les Paul people in particular where they, like, think Les Pauls are rare. It's like, dude, they're everywhere. Gibson's made 1 trillion of these things. They're all over the place. This is just a USA Les Paul Standard. There's nothing rare or special about it. Like, just, you know, is it a high-end guitar? Yes. Is it a good guitar? Yes. But, like, you can't sell a used guitar for the exact same price as a brand new one. That's not how that works, man. Like, people will just go buy the brand new one. Because it has a warranty and a case and, you know, a strap, and it comes with all the hang tags, and Gibson puts a bunch of cool stuff in, you know, the multi-tool that comes in the case. Like, it comes with all this stuff, right? Like, if I'm going to drop $3,000 on a guitar, I want all that stuff. And you don't say if it comes with any of it, you don't say if it still has any of it, or if you lost it, or used it, or whatever, you know, you just no trades. Like, alright, man. Next, 1968 Les Paul Custom. Bought 2 years ago and placed in closet. Paid $6,200 plus ... $5,000. Bro, nobody cares. No one cares that you paid $6,200 for it. Like, we don't care. Okay? We don't care that you bought it and never played it and it's sat in a closet for 2 years. I don't know why that's, like, in the title of the listing. No one cares. The other thing, and then he put the exact same information in the description as the title. So it's like he just like copy and pasted the same thing twice, right? Bro, also, that's not a 1968 Gibson Les Paul Custom. That's a 1968 reissue Gibson Les Paul Custom, right? Like, don't just call something a 68 Les Paul Custom. A 68 Les Paul Custom is not worth $5,000. It's worth $100,000. I don't know. They're worth a lot. Like, they're worth a lot of money. This isn't an actual 68. It's a 68 reissue. Like, say that. Specify that, okay? Like, come on. And again, no one cares how much you paid for it. Like, is $5,000 an actually, like, good price for this? Yeah, it actually is. Like, this is actually a fair price for this guitar. Sure. This thing looks mint. Like, in the photo, it looks super mint. Right? Like, but if this was a super mint, real 68 Les Paul Custom, I don't know how much a real 68 Les Paul Custom is. Maybe they're not $100,000. Maybe, but they're way more than 5, 20, 30, right? Like, they're way more than 5. Like, so, come on, man. Be specific, right? Like, if I was going to list this You need to list what it really is, okay? This is a good one. I love these kinds of listings because they crack me up, okay? 2008 Gibson Explorer, $1,600. Where's the Explorer, dog? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ESP EC Eclipse. There's 5 ESP ECs in here, man. There's 2 LTD ECs, an E2, which is actually a pretty dope guitar, an E2 Eclipse, another, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like there's 4 LTDs, the EC1000s, and then there's an actual E2, like Japanese-made E2 Eclipse, and then there's a Gibson SG. Oh, and then over here in the corner, like where you can barely see, there's the Explorer. Okay, cool, man. Sweet. He even puts in the description, like new, only the Explorer. Like, bro, why didn't you just pull the Explorer out and take another picture? What? This doesn't make any sense. It's so silly. Like, no one's gonna see the Explorer because of the 5 ESPs that are in the way. I'm like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. It just blows my mind. Like, they just cannot be bothered to take another picture. They're like, this is the only picture I have. I gotta post it right now. I can't take 5 seconds to snap another picture. I'm like, okay, man. Last but not least, this guy right here, Epiphone inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom Pro. Limited edition, rosewood fretboard, $7.99. Alright, man, look. This is not an inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom. That's what the new ones are called. This is an old Epiphone Les Paul Silverburst, okay? From like 10 years ago. $800 is way too much. The new ones don't cost, again, you can buy a brand new. You can buy the brand new version of this guitar for like $750. And it's got the Kalamazoo headstock and an ebony fretboard, not a rosewood fretboard, right? Like, this is the blackback rim burst one, okay? I have a buddy who just got one of these like 6 months ago or something like that. His wife bought it for him from a used music store and paid like $500 or $600 for it, right? Like, dude, these are good guitars. These are cool guitars. I like these. But it is not one of the new inspired by Gibsons. Like, it's not one of those. Don't call it that. You're just lying to try to get extra money out of people. Like, stop it, okay? And then the description. I had to take some of the description of this one because it's great. Long-time guitar collector, selling my collection. All in excellent condition and most are all rare and unique. Okay. Vintage and rare, 2015. Again, this vintage and rare. Dude, it's a 2015 Epiphone. That's not vintage. And it's not rare. They made a gajillion of these things. Okay? Inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom Pro. It's not inspired by. It's just a Gibson Les Paul Custom Pro. That's what it is. It's an Epiphone. No, it's not even a Gibson. It's an Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. Stop putting Gibson in front of it. He doesn't even bother to put Epiphone here. It says inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom Pro. Epiphone inspired. Okay, whatever. Anyway. Silverburst with dark rosewood fretboard and Gibson splittable pro buckers. It's got Epiphone pro buckers in it, bro. Not Gibson pro buckers. That's not a thing that exists. There's Gibson burst buckers. There's Gibson custom buckers. Neither of which are this. These are Epiphone pro buckers. Don't call them Gibson pickups. They're not. They're Epiphone pro buckers. They're made in China. They come stock in this guitar that they made 10 million of, like, you know, whatever. I'm being hyperbolic. They made a gajillion of them because it's not rare and it's not vintage. Okay? Stop it. This is one of those rare limited runs. No, it's not. It wasn't a rare limited run. Okay? They made thousands of them. Let's see. Epiphone. I love when people just start making up their own stuff, right? This is one of those rare limited runs offered up under the Epiphone name, costing thousands less than a Gibson Les Paul. Includes original Epiphone hard case. Own this hardly played super clean and rare Les Paul in all caps, right? Come on, man. This version of this limited edition Les Paul is hard to find. No, it's not. And it's easily confused with the standard Silverburst. It isn't. No. Epiphone Les Paul Custom offered the same year. The easiest way to distinguish the two, the standard version was much lighter and has an ebony fretboard. Epiphone didn't put Ebony on. I'm never, whatever, man. Okay. And then he's got this thing down here at the end, right? Like, being a collector, all of my guitars have been cared for, regularly polished, yada 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 yada. It's like, again, a whole bunch of stuff no one cares about. The majority of my collection are for the most part. The majority of for the most part. Okay. Limited edition models, anniversary edition, signature edition models that will only appreciate in value. It's not. Before you ask about bottom line price or discounts, I urge you to first try and find one. Okay. Look on Reverb. Second, check pricing for them on Reverb or in a store. Those guitars are priced to sell. People just get on here and make up stuff, right? Like, bro, it's just an Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro in Silverburst with Epiphone Pro Buckers in it, okay? Right, like, come on, man. The guitar's like, this is a $500 guitar, $600 guitar, right? Maybe, if I'm feeling really good about it. If it's got a case with it, it's in really nice condition, I'll give you $600 for it. Right? Like, this is not an $800 guitar, man. And like, stop with this rare thing. So, Epiphone kind of did this themselves, though, back in the day, to be honest. They put this little logo on the back of some of their, like, higher-end Epiphones that said, like, Epiphone Custom Shop. I had a Lee Malia Epiphone signature, and it had this thing on it, too, like the Epiphone Custom Shop. And it's like, that's not a thing. That didn't exist back then. That's not a real thing. They just put that on there to distinguish, like, artist series guitars and, like, higher level series guitars, right? Like, those were the guitars they put, like, CTS spots and stuff in or whatever, right? Like, it wasn't, there's no real Epiphone Custom Shop, right? Like, not back then. Not in 2015 there wasn't, you know? So, I don't even think there is now. Like, yeah, they have the Inspired by Gibson Les Paul line, but, like, there's no separated custom shop division of Epiphone, right? Like, there's not. They just put that on there. It doesn't mean anything, right? These aren't rare, okay? Like, they made a ton of them. I see them all over the place. The new one costs $750 brand new, and it's got the new headstock. And I'd rather have an ebony fretboard than a rosewood fretboard anyway on a Les Paul Custom, right? So, anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Something a little different. Just scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. We might do some more of this stuff. Maybe we'll look on Reverb one day and we'll find some goofy listings. Again, like I said, my point of this was to not really, like, take a dig at these people. It was really just more to be like, keep an eye out there. You know, don't get scammed. It's easy to read something like this. A lot of these people are really good at talking, and they're really good at sounding like they know what they're talking about. And a lot of them actually just aren't even real people. A lot of them are just bots and stuff like that, and they're going to ask you for, like, your Zelle or PayPal information or something like that, and then they're going to try and steal your information, right? Like, so don't fall for that kind of stuff. If something seems too goofy to be true, like it is, okay? So just be wary out there when you're browsing through Facebook Marketplace especially. Be careful out there, guys. Don't get scammed. Don't get sold, you know, something that's not what it says it is, right? So, if you guys like this kind of stuff, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what the goofiest thing you've ever come across on Facebook Marketplace is. It doesn't necessarily have to be guitar related, but that's just what we're on, you know. This is a guitar channel, so we're talking about guitars, right? But if you've had some crazy Facebook Marketplace experience, let me know about it in the comments. Y'all have a good one. I'll be back next week.